Loren Taylor, former city council member here in Oakland, current candidate for Oakland mayor. Special election is coming up April 15th. Thank you for joining us and heeding the call of the Brotherhood of Elders Network. We are an intergenerational organization of African American men created and founded right here in Oakland with the goal of making sure we are connected to the community and making sure that we're providing information and access. And so really appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely. Glad to be here. Appreciate what you and the rest of the Brotherhood are doing. Absolutely you're playing a critical role in our community here in Oakland.
Yes, we appreciate that and definitely want to highlight the critical role you're stepping up to. And so we have a special election. There has been a recall, and it's exciting opportunity to interview you and hear your thoughts after you went through the 2022 mayoral campaign and then circling back once again. So it's exciting to be able to sit with you. And so start by sharing with our audience a little bit about yourself, how you got into public service and politics.
Absolutely. So yes, Loren Taylor. I'm a kid from Oakland, born and raised here, 3 generations deep. My grandparents moved here in the 40s from the segregated South, Louisiana and Mississippi. And when they came here, they came for promising opportunities that didn't exist back home for them. They landed at Harbor Homes in West Oakland, a government housing project on land that now is occupied by the Port of Oakland today. And when they moved here, they sought, educational opportunities, opportunities for, the next generation to thrive and flourish. And, I'm grateful that, my family was able to move from public housing to home ownership, from poverty to, promising career and, being middle class family, working family, that piece. And frankly, those opportunities that my family saw to create and to have create intergenerational wealth, create opportunities, that's not available to most Oaklanders today. And so that's how I got here. That's a blessing that I've been able to benefit from and one that I want to see restored here in Oakland.
So as a third generation Oaklander, an Oakland native, what is it that you love most about Oakland?
Look, number one is the people. We have amazing people here in Oakland, the diversity, the culture that we represent, the values we hold, how we show up for each other in times of need and just in general. Like that is the glue that, creates that stickiness that makes us proud to be here. Like we've got so much to celebrate, that the diversity I speak of, like we wear that on our sleeve. I took for granted as a kid growing up in Oakland that you have so many different cultures that are just a part of your life. You have so much, just diversity of thought, diversity of sort of ethnicity, background, everything else. When I went away to school in the Midwest, it was a shock to me that wasn't how everybody grew up. We show up strong. We are resilient. We have so much to be proud of, and we really do live up to our motto, which is the Love Life City here in Oakland.
Thank you. Having been in Oakland all your life, grown up in Oakland, you see the challenges we're facing, and I know you've been asked this question a lot of times, but why you? What makes Loren Taylor the best candidate for mayor this go around?
Look, I am an engineer. Came up through the MESA program here in Oakland, introduced to, engineering as a young kid, and decided to go that path. So biomedical engineer turned business management consultant and entrepreneur. I have been able to bridge many different communities in our city, both ethnic, geographically, professionally, the business world, nonprofit space that I've also been a leader in, helping to start nonprofit organizations and engage in community there. And then also most recently, as a former council member, understanding how our city works, it operates, the details of what's working, what's not working, and how to fix it. Combining that experience knowledge on the ground, working over the past couple decades with community to address our toughest challenges, that's unique for anybody else who's in this race. I'm the only candidate running for mayor that has experience leading, guiding, delivering results at the local city municipal level. That is what's needed, especially at a time where we have so much that is not working, and we need to capture and take advantage of and benefit from all of those things that make us great here in Oakland.
So there's been a narrative around rising crime rates. This has been a national narrative. It's been regional as well. The data has been demonstrating over the last 3 to 5 years that crime has been going down in Oakland as well as across the country. What will be your budget priorities and strategies as mayor in light of the narrative versus the reality?
Well, I guess one thing that has to be acknowledged is that regardless of what statistics say, if I am a victim of crime, that's a statistic one of one examples. And so we can't dismiss people's lived realities relative to crime, public safety, and the things that make them afraid to go out in our city, to go to our commercial corridors, be it downtown or one of the neighborhood commercial areas. And so we do have to address both the real and perceived aspects of public safety. And frankly, this year, right now it's March 11th, we've had 20 homicides so far in Oakland. You can't dismiss that as just a perception issue. Those are real lives of Oaklanders that have been lost because of senseless violence. So there is a reality we have to face, and that requires that we have a multi-pronged approach to addressing public safety. We have to have greater law enforcement ability to follow up on crimes, hold folks accountable when they perpetrate acts of violence on our residents. In addition, we have to have the violence prevention. It's absolutely true that the best way to keep people safe is to keep crimes and acts of violence from happening in our city. And so we have to prevent more crime. We have to leverage community policing. We have to have stronger relationships with law enforcement and also ensure that they are operating constitutionally and not overstepping their bounds. And in addition, we also have to engage and be able to follow up on incidents that occur. When we have in our city a less than 5% solve rate for violent crimes, that means less than 1 in 20 people who commit an act of violence are going to be held accountable for that act. That's not acceptable. We know that when people can get away with things, it makes it easier for them to make a decision to do those things they otherwise wouldn't do or know that they shouldn't do. So that has to happen. And at the same time, there is a heightened perception that we need to address also. We have to do better with PR in our city. When things are safe, when we are creating lively, vibrant activities, festivals, when things are going well, we have to amplify that. That's one of the reasons why I am very focused on having the PR engine for our city driven out of the mayor's office. We have to be focused on Oakland's brand, image, reputation, so that we do get conventions, concerts, other events planned right here in Oakland, and folks aren't going elsewhere or dismissing us because of the perception of crime. We have to actively engage with the media and ensure that they aren't just using Oakland as clickbait that then continues to perpetuate the negative perceptions that are happening. And we've got to sort of have those positive things go viral that, incentivize and invite people here and let them know that it's not only safe, but you're going to have an amazing time in our city.
So while the newly elected mayor, again, election is April 15th, will have limited input on the budget process because of the timeline, speak to the realities that you talked about and where are the priority areas in the budget that would help address the realities of the crime and the public safety that we're trying to create in Oakland?
Absolutely. So I have a plan on my website, loren4oakland.com, Loren, F-O-R, Oakland.com. And on that website, my public safety plan is, yes, we have to get to having 800 officers on our force. Right now we have about 670, and when you do comparison studies, the amount of officers we have to violent crimes in our city, the amount of officers we have to residents, people estimate we should be closer to 1,000. That's not realistic, but what is realistic is that we can get to 800 officers in 3 years with 3 academies per year. That baseline of boots on the ground, folks to respond to crimes, the folks to be on hand to deter crime, is absolutely doable. We, first of all, in terms of how we fund it, given our budget challenges, we have to look at the fact that we have excessive amounts of overtime that we are paying for law enforcement. That overtime money could and should be shifted to having full-time employees that are not overworked, stressed, and likely to make mistakes if they're working excessive overtime hours. We also have to look at funding sources that can bridge the gap until we can grow our revenue sufficiently. And so we know that we have corporate partners that are based here in Oakland that are willing to invest. We've got the big 4 companies, PG&E, Kaiser, Clorox, and Blue Shield, who have come together and committed to investing $10 million per year to improve safety and vitality in the downtown area where their companies are headquartered. Partnering with them to direct those resources in a way that strengthens our law enforcement activity is an important part of the conversation that needs to be had. And we know that there are other companies on the sidelines that are willing to support and invest, but they frankly don't trust the city to operate effectively, to be good stewards of resources, and so they're holding back what they would otherwise invest and support. And so I am very focused on making sure that we operate effectively and efficiently as a city, that we fulfill our promises, that our social contract with residents and businesses, and actually deliver results so that we can attract greater investment as well. Other ways to address the budget shortfall and make sure that we have strong public safety is that we have to look at a different way of budgeting, how we manage our finances and make budgeting decisions. If you make an investment into public safety, we will be able to keep businesses here, keep residents here, support our property taxes from being the values being eroded, for property values being eroded. We also will be able to, have more folks come to Oakland to spend their money, to have a good time, eat out at restaurants. Those are all positive financial benefits of having more public safety. We have to look at that as we're making these decisions, not just what it costs, but what will benefit on the other side as well.
You mentioned earlier in one of your responses about how diverse Oakland is, and I can attest to growing up in Oakland and being surprised to go other places and not having that rich diversity around me. How do you plan to invest equitably in the diverse communities in Oakland? And also I would add to that, what are those specific community groups that you feel need the most attention and support from the city?
Yeah, and here, I guess I'll just anchor to the fact that I appreciate the question, and it's one that I have inside knowledge on because, again, I have been on the ground as the only candidate in this race who has experience driving results at the local municipal level as a part of government leadership. When I was on the ground as a council member, that's when COVID broke out. So when we talk about how to equitably allocate resources to support our community, that's what I have done, making sure that those partners, like our East Oakland partners, the Black Cultural Zone, Homies Empowerment, East Oakland Youth Development Center, and Roots those who are participating in the 40 by 40 Oakland Thrives initiative, those are ones that have been on the ground doing the work, engaging community authentically, actually bringing community in as thought partners. Those are the ones that we should be investing in. We should also be looking at, other parts of the city as well. Obviously, I started with a focus on East Oakland because that's where I was the council member of. But in the Fruitvale, you got the Unity Council. You have La Clínica de la Raza, Native American Health Center. In Chinatown, our AAPI community, you've got the Vietnamese and the Chinatown Chambers of Commerce. You've got other organizations that have been strong on the ground. It's those that are connected to the soil, connected to the folks most impacted by the crime, the blight, the lack of opportunities. That's who we need to be partnering with the most. Yes, we've got to uplift the entire city, but I do believe in targeted universalism. You focus on those that are most adversely impacted, it will benefit everyone as a whole, just as the curb ramps that we standardize across cities. Now, it was originally for those who were physically impaired. Now everybody benefits from it, whether it's bicyclists or just elders, et cetera. So yes, we need to allocate resources. We need to be able to support those in need. Focusing on those most at need is part of the equity strategy that needs to be in place. And frankly, we have to be more innovative and creative on how we do these things. We are in some difficult financial times right now. We do not have any friends in Washington, D.C. No matter how much experience someone has engaging with the federal government, Trump is not our friend. That relationship is not going to yield for us in the next 4 years. We have to focus on how we create self-sufficiency. We build and create value internally. And that's what I have been doing as a council member. We also partnered when it comes to creating economic opportunities with, other groups on the ground, partner with local minority-owned businesses to create opportunities for the city to have greater contracts with them, changing our local business empowerment initiative and the local contracting laws to give them an advantage and to make sure they have a seat at the table with opportunities. And as a council member, I created and partnered with folks to create ESO Ventures, the entrepreneurship accelerator that has brought tens of millions of dollars to communities where folks have a lot of innovative talent, ideas for businesses, but haven't had the capital, the competence, or the connections necessary to turn those ideas into value. And those are a few examples, and also targeted equity opportunities that I am proud of as a council member, bringing that experience to bear as mayor, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan on April 15th.
Yes, and I'm going to ask you to expand on that. I really appreciate that response. And just going back to some of what you shared about the changing landscape at the federal level, and even that putting a chill on some of our local citizens, whether you come from an immigrant family or you're looking to make sure your children are safe in school. What will you do as mayor to make sure all of our Oakland citizens have access to City Hall and are being heard, especially in this federal climate that we find ourselves in?
Look, number one, you talk about access to City Hall. We have to reopen City Hall. We need to have our employees back to work at least 4 days a week so that when people come to City Hall, come to our government for help, they're not faced with a closed, locked door with a sign on it that says, come back later, or schedule an appointment. That's number one. City Hall has to be accessible. The other thing that I intend to do when it comes to accessibility is bring City Hall into the community. Let's make sure that we aren't just expecting people to come to us. When I was on the council, I made a proposal and invested initial dollars into creating City Hall East, a City Hall that would be in East Oakland so that you have one in the west, one in the east, and you have accessibility. You don't have to worry about the transportation challenges and issues that keep people from accessing the basic services they have a right to. Now, when it comes to the Trump administration, you asked specifically, like, how do we protect our residents, how we bring them resources? Absolutely. We must protect our immigrant communities. We must protect our LGBTQ communities. We have to protect those who are directly under attack by the federal government and the initiatives that they're putting forward. Why? Because when one of us are attacked, all of us are attacked. We're only as strong as, each of our, communities. And so absolutely critical that we put up safeguards in place, we create sanctuary, and we are able to lead. Part of that is being able to communicate effectively. What are the resources that exist? How do people protect themselves? How do you stay strong? And what community partners are there that should be direct in line? What are the hotline numbers or the places you go for information? We also have to make sure that we're preempting those attacks on members of our community and partnering with other agencies, whether it's other cities nearby, whether it's the county level, state level, or nonprofit partners who can help us prepare both legally to challenge and block actions that are happening, as well as, policy practice-wise. So we got to be preemptive. We got to think ahead, be 1-2 steps ahead of those who are lobbing attacks against us, and we've got to stand firm and prioritize protecting our own.
As we come to this close of this budget cycle, it's a couple more months, there's anticipation of cuts. We've seen some of our community-based nonprofits lose their funding that had initially been committed by the city. What role do you see county government playing as if you're lucky enough to step into this role? How would you engage county government? What role can they play in helping us as Oakland City in terms of our public safety, our community engagement, our ability to make sure our residents are housed? What role do you see the county playing?
County has a critical role. A lot of people look at us and compare us to San Francisco. The reality is that there isn't a comparison because the city of Oakland is one city within a much larger county, Alameda County. In San Francisco, they are a city and a county combined. And so the mayor there has the ability to control resources in all of those areas, has public health under their scope, and education. Here, it's different. We have to fight with the other cities, other 12 cities in Alameda County in order to figure out how we can get our appropriate share of the pie. We also have the county that is directly responsible, directly funded for things like homelessness support services, for the social services, for mental health, those things that are critical to our community's survival and support. We have to demand that the county bring greater resources, prioritize Oaklanders more so than it has, and that they spend more of their reserve funds than they have. We have a significant reserve in the county that should be applied towards addressing the immediate needs of our residents. Unfortunately, we have been sitting on that and not activating it for our collective benefit. If that continues to be the case, we will see folks remain unhoused. We will see more violence and crime. We will see more mental health challenges manifest negatively in our community while sitting on a cache of resources. We've got to work more to get those deployed, activated, so that we can all benefit now versus waiting until it's too late.
It's estimated that the city budget is about $100 million of the city budget is federal dollars, and we see what's happening at the federal level. What would you do, or how would you leverage any opportunities for partnership at the federal level to maintain some of these relationships where we can, build new ones where we can? And just kind of based on your previous response, how would you counter the negative impacts if there is an opportunity to partner at the federal level?
Look, bottom line is we have to fight hard for all the resources we can bring to our city. We cannot count any source of funding out. So yes, we may not have a friend in the White House, but strengthening our relationships, continuing to engage with professional government employees in DC has to be part of our agenda, so that we can work in the funding, the partnerships, and others that will be brought to Oakland in order to address our challenges. I am 1,000% committed to engaging all receptive ears, potential partners in DC, in Sacramento, and elsewhere to bring the necessary resources to Oakland so that we can address our biggest issues: public safety, the basic infrastructure, our ability to care for each other, stepping up relative to homelessness, addressing our educational system, wraparound services, and everything else that needs to be addressed here. So, yes, we have challenges within the federal government. I believe that with intentional sort of engagement and seeking partnership while not compromising our values, we will be able to protect most of those resources. Those that do get removed, we've got to be very focused on how we replace those resources, how we get additional funding, engaging with not just philanthropy, but social impact investors. There are ways to create value in a return-driven way by focusing on how making some investments that are impact-oriented, they also contribute to our revenue, our ability to sustain ourselves in the long term and grow our city.
So, as mayor of Oakland, you have to be able to count to 5. We have 8 city council members, and you were one of those at one point who was leaned on to help make decisions for the city. So, as mayor, how would you build your relationships with the other city council members, and talk to us how you would partner with them to get your initiatives passed?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, we got to count to 5. I am grateful that I have positive relationships with a supermajority of the council, and am optimistic that I will be able to increase that as we move forward, as I become mayor. I've had experience working with a majority of the folks on the council, even though at least 5 are new to the council. When you look at the work that I've been doing in community, obviously I have partnered with Noel Gallo in District 5, good relationship with Kevin Jenkins, now interim mayor Jenkins, my successor in District 6. Ken Houston, the District 7 council member, is one that I have also worked with on the ground with initiatives that I've been leading, driving, and partnering on in East Oakland. Councilmember Rowena Brown, the at-large council member, know her well. She was part of my staff when I was a council member. So the history and relationships are deep there. A lot of respect for Councilmember Ramachandran, the work that she's been doing, showing up, being very direct and honest around what's going on and transparent in her leadership. And others as well. Zach Unger in District 1, we have partnered. So yes, you got to be able to count to 5. The relationships I have are strong, and I expect to get even stronger as mayor. When we look at how we work together, I believe in the principle that you have no permanent enemies, no permanent friends, only permanent issues. Fighting for the community is my permanent issue. The future of Oakland, positive future of Oakland, opportunities for Oakland, that's my permanent issue. And that's what I believe, I'm confident we will be able to align around, is bringing the elected officials together in a way that addresses and moves us forward on those issues of safety, cleanliness, increased opportunities, fiscal solvency, addressing our homelessness crisis with compassion, and really just uplifting those who are here so they benefit in ways that are that we can't even imagine today.
The election's April 15th. Let's say you're successful. You step into a short term, completing the previous mayor's term. Do you see yourself running for the full term if you are successful on April 15th?
Yes, absolutely. There is no way that we're going to get done what we need in the next 20 months after this election. We'll only be able to get started, and my intention is not just to start something and not finish it, but actually start something and see it all the way through. A commitment to a full 6 years or 10, as long as the electorate sees fit. We cannot simply have another sort of interim mayor, substitute teacher. We've got to have leadership that is establishing a vision, fully committed to seeing that through, implementing it, and leading us forward. And that's what I intend to do.
I appreciate you leaning forward into the work. And as we've talked about, there's a lot of challenges in Oakland, but I'm going to ask you to take a 10,000, 20,000 feet view and tell us what's the legacy that you want to leave when you have done the work that you've come to do, and you've achieved and accomplished the goals that you plan to accomplish. What would be your legacy as mayor of Oakland?
Absolutely. So through my tenure, we will put Oakland on a trajectory to really be that best-in-class city that other cities look to as an example, a model. We will tap into our diversity in ways that really amplify that as a strength, as a way of creating value, as a way of sustaining not only ourselves, but then leading others forward. We will be a city of growth where we are no longer simply taking slices of a pie, fighting over crumbs as it shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, failing to deliver on our promises and support our residents the way that they need. Instead, we will be growing, expanding the pie, creating opportunities, and setting our young people and others on a path towards greater, more realizing their full potential, more benefits, more job creation, more revenue creation. We will establish, and one of my visions is that we establish a second downtown in East Oakland. 2 downtowns. You go to other cities, they've got, many different centers of economic value creation. We should be able to do the same and not neglect East Oakland, Flatlands, other areas, simply directing all of our energy and resources to one portion of the city. Under my leadership, we will be that safe city where everybody can walk anywhere in our city without fearing that they are going to be the next victim. We'll be that city where every corner of Oakland is what I call postcardable. You'll be able to take a picture and be proud to have that on your postcard. We will be that city where, entrepreneurs, small business owners, individuals see this as the best place to start, grow, expand, relocate your business, because Oakland will be business friendly, will be focused on opportunities and equitable opportunities so that we're all lifted up, not just a small fraction of us. We'll be fiscally solvent, no longer facing the threat of bankruptcy, and actually able to invest more heavily in those areas that generate social impact, value, and allow us to deliver on our promises. Oakland is an amazing, beautiful city. We've just had a few things that have gotten in our way. We've got to get out of our own way, make sure that we are focused on growth, expansion of opportunities, and becoming that city that everybody wants to be like, everybody sees as the model for how we show up, leverage our diversity, and deliver real impact.
So on behalf of the Brotherhood of Elders Network, I want to thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, your plans. Thank you for heeding the call when we reached out. We ask that you continue to stay engaged with us as the Brotherhood of Elders Network. There may be times that we will need to reach out again, and we hope you respond to that call. And we want to definitely let you know that we are here. If there's any need that you have to bring to us, we are more than happy to respond. So thank you for your time. Really appreciate your energy and you stepping up to this race.
Thank you as well.